For today's cup of coffee, take two, because I didn't take my Stratera today. We have poor little youngest kid, and he's got the sniffles, and he feels like hell. The elderberry is good historically, but it doesn't work automatically. So prayers for kid, because he's feeling kind of rough.
I had a temperature of 100.
That's not bad. That is not
but
bad.
It's still a fever.
It's just enough to make you feel crappy.
Yeah.
Is exactly what that is. And from Mysterious Universe, we have an article by Paul Seaburn that came out May 6th, 2022, and he has redeemed himself. His past writings that I have read, he's not the skeptical asshole that he was for quite a while on some of his articles.
You dickhead.
So, like I said, he's been redeemed.
Somewhat.
And this is called A Study Shows That Paranormal Believers Have a Different Way of Thinking. And the link will be in the description box. I thought this was interesting. This is something...
What he means by that, like, is that an accusatory thing?
No, it's really not. When you hear the article, it's really not.
They're mentally ill.
No. And he says, if you spend time with a group of people discussing paranormal subjects, perhaps talking about ghosts or UFOs, or discussing a recent Bigfoot sighting, you may wonder why some people believe in the paranormal and how they came to their beliefs. Those believers have already heard plenty of insulting comments about their positions. Perhaps they'd like to know why it's easier for them to believe in the paranormal as well. A new study published in the journal PLOS One delved into this subject and came to an interesting and non-insulting conclusion about how paranormal believers think. And Charlotte E. Dean states, quote, the term paranormal typically refers to phenomena such as psychokinesis, hauntings, and clairvoyance, which contradict the basic limiting principles of current scientific understanding. Surveys consistently indicate paranormal beliefs are prevalent within the general population, end quote. So rather than it being a few on the fringe, as the few on the fringe would like us to believe, we are the many. Yeah.
We outnumber you bitches.
But it is, and youngest kid in the other take was discussing about the shame that a lot of people have when discussing their paranormal experiences, or even their belief, if they have not experienced it themselves, their belief in it.
Yeah.
So, lead author Charlotte E. Dean from the University of Hertfordshire in the UK.
I can't help you with that, Mama.
Explains in a press release that she and her team found it was at least 30 years since a review on paranormal studies of potential links between cognitive functioning and belief in paranormal phenomena, such as the psychokinesis, hauntings, and clairvoyance, and time for a new one. Numerous polls have shown that paranormal beliefs are widespread, but vary even amongst people with similar backgrounds. For example, among people in the academic disciplines, those engaged in sciences, medicine, and psychology, showing a significantly lower paranormal belief than those in education, theology, and artistic disciplines.
Science.
And, well, the thing is about the psychology... Because a lot of times when people have after effects of having a supernatural event and they go for therapy and stuff, bad things can happen.
Very much so.
Very
much so.
Yeah. I've had that happen to me.
We saw that in a movie.
I've had personal experience. I truly have.
The movie got snatched. The woman got snatched up by the ghost because she wouldn't sing.
Yeah, well, how many people are institutionalized or imprisoned because that they have some kind of an unclean spirit or demonic, attachment.
She was the unclean spirit.
Yeah, well. It says that the researchers identified 70 published studies and one unpublished doctoral thesis from between 1980 and 2020, which explored a range of cognitive functions such as reasoning ability, thinking style, and memory. For Dean, one key function was problem solving, and she states, and she states, quote, skeptics tend to be characterized by an analytical thinking style. If you give them an abstract problem, they think of all the different ways to solve it and pick one of the most likely to work. Believers are characterized by an intuitive thinking style and go with their instinct. So if you come across an unexplained phenomenon that could be expressed as novel or abstract, they come to different conclusions whether it is paranormal or not.
Yeah.
End quote. So it appears that believing in something paranormal has little or nothing to do with it being paranormal. The path a person chooses is dependent more on their cognitive process. In other words, their ability for their brain to process it. The 30 years of research studies were divided by cognitive domains: perceptual and cognitive basis, reasoning, intelligence, critical thinking, and academic performance, thinking style, executive function, and other cognitive functions. The result was a surprise because across all of the domains, there was a strong connection between paranormal belief and an intuitive thinking style, which is trusting one's gut feelings about a subject. If you thought about it, it's not that unheard of. In fact, that would be expected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Dean again states the cognitive deficits hypothesis is apparent in most papers, and a simple vote count shows that 2 in 3 studies document that paranormal beliefs are associated with poor cognitive performance. Now, the way that states, that's kind of insulting.
Yeah. That's
so when he's
rude.
like non-insulting, I'm like, okay, that,
yeah, that's kind of insulting.
But it says, unfortunately, those hoping to wave the study in the faces of family and friends spewing insults about their paranormal beliefs will be disappointed in one aspect. It refers to choosing intuitive thinking over analytical thinking as a cognitive deficit.
What?
See, this was already an asshole that had written that like that.
Yeah. What?
That just means less thinking and more intuition, no thinking at all.
You bastard.
Good luck explaining that to those with superior analytical thinking complex. Okay, first of all, the problem is within that terminology.
Mm-hmm.
That needs to be corrected.
Absolutely.
Especially in academia, because those people will take that and run with it, which has been done for many years. In this culture. Other cultures don't do that. Okay, and Dean states, 4 decades of research suggests that belief in the paranormal is linked to our degree of cognitive flexibility and fluid intelligence, end quote. Which means that you can think quicker on the spot. That you're not trapped in that 2x2 box that so many people are. You know, think outside the box.
See, that's some good.
Break the box down. Burn the box.
That's good about Smooth Brain Gang. We can be slick.
That's a little too fluid. It says, while the authors stand by their conclusion, the study is not the end of discussions about the thought process of paranormal believer versus skeptics. It's just the beginning. The authors admit that this is a review of 30 years of study results, which is dependent on the quality of those studies. Now, again, there's some really bad science out there. Tremendously bad science. While most of the 71 studies use good methodologies, many were found lacking in the quality of participants. I'd say it was probably lacking quality in the researchers.
Probably.
You know, the ones that's going, I'm going to prove this shit is not real. Okay, you might as well sit your ass down because you've already ruined your research because you've started with a conclusion. Everything is skewed.
Yep.
The volunteers were often undergraduate students rather than random samplings from the general population.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can see how that would be. You need to have a broad sampling.
Yeah. Sampling, it's not this.
It is a sampling. That's what it's called.
This ain't fucking Sam's Club. You can go picking out samples.
But it is. It's a random sampling. It says, are you a paranormal believer or a skeptic? Do you believe in all paranormal subjects or just some?
Have you watched our channel?
Do you see yourself as an intuitive thinker or a cognitive one? Let's hope the next study gives an intuitive way to convince your skeptical friends and family. So it's a matter of, that gave smatterings of understandings. So I went a little bit further. And from a website called Upskilled, there's an article by Katie Quirk. Quirk. And this was April 26, 2021. And this is entitled Intuitive versus Analytical Personality Traits. So, yeah, well, you've got to find out. They're talking about it. What is it? And what it is to be an analytical personality type, these are often described as type A personalities. And they have they set extremely high standards for themselves and others, orderly and organized, and approach decisions with thought and purpose. It says they're economical and self-disciplined. Analytical personalities strive for perfection. However, their downfall can come in the form of indecisiveness, such as overanalyzing everything from a restaurant menu to a dream job offer. That's called Libra. That is a Libra. Analytical personalities require time to do well, and they embrace problems that require extensive research or examination. They are process-driven and are adept at breaking down large, complex issues. Deep and thoughtful, analytical personalities value facts, data, reasoning, and clear communication. That sounds like somebody that could be on the spectrum just a little bit.
They got a little bit of Asperger's.
Yeah, well, it says people with an intuitive personality, these are the ones that hearts rule their heads. And rather than breaking down information with logic, they refer to what their gut is telling them in any given situation. They tend to look beyond face value and have a strong trust in their own judgment and moral code. And however, intuitive personality types are usually skilled at remaining open-minded. Unlike analytical personalities, intuitive personalities don't paint their decisions in black and white, but instead in many shades of gray. They're able to consider both sides of the coin and easily put themselves into others' shoes. Again, that's Libra. While solutions can arrive very quickly for those driven by intuition, intuitive thinking is best applied when problems are well understood. Challenges can arise from intuitive personality types when more complexity is involved. And intuitive personalities value love, kindness, creativity, and compassion. What are examples of analytical skills? All right, these people are usually good at generating relevant facts before making a decision, extracting and collating quantitative data, dissecting underlying reasoning behind decisions, and embracing a prove-it mentality. And it says well-suited careers for analytical personalities: accounts, logistics, project management, ICT, I don't even know what the hell that is, workplace, health, and safety. So those are the OSHA people. Yay, go OSHA.
You should work for OSHA.
I would do good working for OSHA. All right, with the intuitive personalities they're typically good at making decisions and judgments based on a gut feeling of any situation, being observant, spotting patterns, reading people, and picking up on cues that subconsciously influence their decisions, making the right decision quickly with minimal information, especially if they're high performing. And well-suited careers for the intuitive people: counseling, consulting. Now, see, this says counseling. Of course, I guess that's different than the like psychiatrist because, yeah, those people. Entrepreneurial endeavors, caregivers, journalism. Now, you don't have to be either one or the other. There is a mixture of different personalities. In that last link, I think that they had like a little personality test. People usually like those because they do like to learn about themselves.
Yeah.
And it's beneficial.
I like those personality tests.
Yeah, because I'm a combination of both of those.
What was that one test that, like, you could, is it INFP or something like that?
I don't know. There's all kinds.
You could do that, or INFJ. Like, it's all a whole different thing of personalities.
Oh yeah, there's all different.
In one of those.
Sure, and it's a matter of overlapping on a lot of it. It's like, are you more on this type of personality trait, or are you more on the other? There's a lot of really good tests out there online that are free.
Is it possible for a person over time to like switch one?
Absolutely.
Of those things?
They certainly can. And a lot of that has to do with, as you know, we've talked lots about the frontal lobe shrinkage and stuff, and that where kids are more emotive, their hearts are in the right place, but because of this intuitive factor where they are not taking all of the facts into account, and they act before thinking, as they mature, if they live, then yes, that part of the personality does change.
Yeah.
And it's just like, as far as you can be a compassionate, caring person, but you've got to have some common sense to balance that out. Just like, okay, yes, homeless people, and God love them and pray for them. And there are organizations that minister to these people. It's not a good idea usually for individuals to insert themselves in those situations without understanding what they're dealing with. Because you could deal with somebody that's got a severe mental illness. You could deal with somebody that's got some kind of a spirit attachment, and that can be harmful.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I said, you've got to sort of balance that out. But I thought that was pretty cool that they're trying to study it.
Yeah.
Academia has a tendency to be some of the worst, most pompous asses on the planet. I have a really poor, I've had really poor experiences with academia. You've got some professors that are great, and then you've got some that they literally think they know everything. They are the guardian of knowledge, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
That's like I was telling you, the research papers. People have actually done research about the difference between dissociative identity disorder and possession. And it was more than one paper that had been written on that, which I'm like, oh my God, I need to be able to read this. And I wasn't allowed to, because it is behind a $47 paywall per paper.
Which is bullshit.
It is.
That knowledge should be to the public.
It should. It should be available. And Aaron Schwartz, God love him, Aaron Schwartz. But this is part of the us and them type thing with the academia. And if you're ever at a social gathering, which I have had the misfortune to be at a social gathering with the academia back in the day, oh God, it's a level in hell.
It sounds like it.
Let me tell you, I would have traded that experience at their 5-star restaurant in bougie. I would have much rather have been sitting at that time at my local bar with a beer, talking to real people that had real experiences. Because most of academia, they sit in a classroom and they theorize about other people's experiences instead of going out and having the experiences themselves.
You would rather have the experience yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would rather talk to the real people that are actually doing the real work than those that think they know about what somebody else does. But that's just me.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I mean, I agree. So,
like I said, you don't have to be either or, but they did at least do a study on personality types, which, I mean, you can see it being easier for somebody that is an artist to accept and embrace that there is a spirit realm than somebody that's, I don't know,
a doctor or a scientist.
Well, I think it's just more a matter of, I don't know, even some of those people. It could be like the rocket scientists and stuff. And I have heard, several over the years, people that are people of faith within some of those, with the scientific fields, and they have a really hard time, and they are ridiculed frequently by their colleagues because they dare believe in God.
You know, there are some people who believe in God, but they don't believe in ghosts.
You can't do it. You got to do one or the other, because it says he's a spirit, and those who worship him must do so in spirit and in truth.
Yeah.
So what do they do with those passages? They don't read the book, do they? That's the instruction manual.
Obviously not.
Hug. What a world.
There's a lot of people like that have not even read one page of the book. They've had it read to them, or what they think was read to them.
Well, then how do they pray? Do they pray?
Yeah, but like...
That's somebody that's got a social organization that they don't have a belief system.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know. I have pondered the world for almost 57 years, and all I know is that I don't know shit.
I'm pondering if duct tape would be toxic for the cat.
It's okay. See, they can't hear the cat. They just hear your reaction to the cat. So she's miserable, and it's this, like, that droning noise out there in New Mexico or whatever that drives people insane. It's horrid. Anything to add, sick kid?
I ain't got shit.
We're gonna do some chicken soup.
I ain't got a thought through my brain right now.
We're gonna do some chicken soup with
Y'all
him.
want
He's
some
actually
funky
doing
jewelry? Y'all want some funky beach jewelry?
Well, when you get the Etsy shop, then you can advertise. Wait till you do before you try to advertise. So, anyhow, it's not just you. Those who believe in the paranormal and have experienced it, you are the majority.
Yes.
Don't let the small amount of people with the really big mouths tell you otherwise.
That's the thing.
On
the majority
anything.
has had,
Sure.
paranormal experiences.
Absolutely. So if you have had experiences with paranormal, supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, if you have been to psychiatrists who were assholes to you, I've got personal tales that I could tell on that. If you've got local, regional, or family myths or legends, my God, I've done a lot of shit in my life, haven't I? I have been right in the middle of the shit storm.
No. Oh, I never thought of that before.
People are sitting there going, oh my God. I've told them I would read a book, but I'd have to put it under fiction because nobody would believe it.
Read a book? You mean write a book?
Write a book, yeah. I've read lots of books on that too. Anyhow, you can send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com, and the email address will be in the description box as well. If you do need prayer, if you do need somebody just to, communicate with you, we're very much open to that. Know that you're loved.
Mm-hmm.
You are here because you have a purpose.
Yes.
And, especially for such a time as this. And if that is a matter of praying, prayers can be real simple, such as, like, God, help now.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of our primary ones.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, kids, you gonna do your thing?
Yes. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all, and have a good...
See, I actually like that bass quality to his voice. I really do. So we'll see you.
It happens when I'm sick or I'm just waking up.
We'll see you on the next cup. Bye.
Yes. Bye.